Next up on our Chicago hit list, it's the Field Museum, which is the Natural History Museum. Again, in the museum campus area, so not too far away from the planetarium or the aquarium, right there on Lake Michigan. Beautiful, giant, old building. Let's go check this out. Welcome inside the Great Hall of the Field Museum. This is where you enter, you buy your tickets and that kind of thing. And it's also home to the museum's most famous resident, and that is Sue the Tyrannosaurus Rex. I believe it's the most complete Tyrannosaurus Rex ever found. And it's in a very, very cool spot here, right in the middle of the museum. Up next, Evolving Planet, and I believe this is where we'll find the dinosaurs. So this takes you through sort of the history of the Earth, and as you're walking along, as you go through the different exhibits and things, you count down. We're at 3.5 billion years ago. And you turn the corner here and you're at 2.5 billion years ago. Really cool idea for an exhibit. Check out the 400 million year old fish head. That's awesome. Terrifying seeing one of those things. You do have a great collection of very much reptilian type early dinosaurs. And a lot of different ones. Check out this guy's mouth. Oh, cool. This is a funny looking dude right here. If my camera wants to focus, there it is. And he was huge. Like, that's his head. Head. Neat. Also, as you walk through time, it covers every mass extinction. And we're up to mass extinction number 4. One of the highlights of any natural history museum, and the Field Museum is no different, and that is the dinosaurs. We've got Stegosaurus over there. All sorts of dinosaurs. That's always incredible to see. They got some really great, look at that Triceratops. Gotta love dinosaurs. This exhibit's cool. So after you move from the age of the dinosaurs, you go to the next one. Some of these crazy looking sea monster type guys. I mean, look at that. That's awesome. If you were wondering what they look like, they look like that. Cool. This one is awesome. It's a giant ground sloth. That's gotta be good. Well, it's standing up, but it's gotta be like 20 feet tall. You've also got a giant kind of armadillo-like creature over there. But man, this is one of the coolest things in the museum. We've got a saber-toothed tiger fossil right there. Wow, so cool. And if we continue this way, it gets better. Their collection of these extinct animals is just absolutely fantastic. We've got the short-faced bear, and then of course you've got some mammoths and stuff like that, and it's fantastic. They're also very, very tall. I mean, this guy's probably a good 15 feet tall, as is that guy there. You've got some sort of the largest deer ever. And look how intricate the antlers are and how they're still in good shape after millions of years. Oh, cool, look at this. It's a giant beaver. And I think beavers are cool anyway. This one's like double the size of a normal beaver. So in the interactive exhibit here, it shows if you're stuck in a tar trap, if you're a horse or a mastodon, who would be easier to get out. Horse, you're out pretty easy. Mastodon, no, you're not. Now, is it a lot harder to pull that one up, Molly?
It is.
Ooh. Cool.
Well, this one you can do.
Yep. Nice and easy. One of the highlights here at the Field Museum is their Ancient Egypt section. And it's really cool. It's not really labeled all that. It's just, you see the giant tomb, and you instinctively go in. And it's kind of cool. It's got like passageways and that kind of stuff. Very cool. I find Egyptian stuff really neat anyway. So something like this is really cool to me. And what makes this really neat too is you go from this room here, and then which is a recreation, in the next room behind glass, this is the real deal. So, you know, you're walking past the famous Egyptian tomb and that kind of thing. So this is pretty awesome. Also, it's incredible that things are this old and still in such great shape. Just making the exhibit cooler, you go up into the excavation and then you have to walk down a spiral staircase down into the tomb. And this is a pretty long spiral staircase. Like, this is not messing around. You probably go down to at least 2 flights of stairs, maybe 3. Wouldn't be the ancient Egyptian exhibit without a real mummy. How cool is this? Oh my God. If you're into ancient Egypt, you're really gonna like this exhibit. They have a ton of stuff, just a ton of stuff, and a lot of it is really cool. Lots of the famous kind of sarcophagus type stuff. Oh, they have this giant Egyptian boat. And again, some of these things, like these artifacts, are in such good shape for them. Thousands and thousands of years old. I mean, I don't think I could build a boat this good right now. Up next, the underground adventure. For this exhibit, you enter the shrink chamber and get shrunk down to, you know, so we've made it into the micro soil lab where you've been shrunk down to the size of the bug. That's a penny, and now Molly's going to walk next to the penny. That's a giant penny. I love this, very well themed. As a fan of like themed entertainment, this is definitely done up very well. We've got a giant moving crayfish who kind of looks like a lobster. Doesn't move much, it just moves up and down a little bit. It's still cool. This one will give you nightmares. This is something that's decomposing as other bugs are crawling all over it. And it looks like it kind of moves and breathes a little bit. So it's definitely on the creepy side. This one will give you nightmares. Weird. Alright, Molly, when I wake up sweating in the middle of the night, this is why. Up next is the Ancient American, and check out the detail on this giant statue here. Awesome. Really cool entrance here for the History of the Americas exhibit. You walk in and you can see the giant mammoths walking. That's neat. In this exhibit here, it takes you from starting from the Ice Age Americans, and something that I think is really cool. You've got woolly mammoth tusks that are, crazy old. And they're always a fascinating animal too. Like, that's one of those old-timey animals I really wish were still alive because they're neat. Them and dinosaurs. They'd both be on the list. Saber-toothed tigers. Probably some more I'm not thinking of.
So I say
they've got a full mock-up of an ancient Pueblo farming village. Pueblo. Definitely rather neat. They were really into corn. Got more totem poles here. A lot of totem poles. And they're gigantic, they're detailed, they're awesome. And a lot of them. It's so cool. I think the totem pole stuff is probably my favorite part of this exhibit. And they're also, I mean, these things are massive. And they have so many of them. Oh, and it just keeps getting, oh, look at this. Oh, wow. It's like a giant bear with people on its hands. Very, very neat stuff in here. The museum is home to a 3D movie theater showing a bunch of really cool looking movies. You've got one about mummies, you got one about Hulk and the T-Rex, the story of Sue. And there was one about Galapagos. We didn't have time to see them today, but they did seem pretty neat. Time to travel the Pacific. Cool diorama here showing off what a volcano or a lava flow is like. Oh, do you know what that makes sense? Oh, I think for my shirt. Look what I'm wearing today. My Hawaii National Park shirt from Volcano National Park. So I went there last year. It was really cool. So they have a laboratory here, but I want to point it out because of this fantastic sign. That's wonderful. Another cool section here showing some houses in the Pacific, and lots of really neat totems kind of things. So we've made it to Tahiti, which is a magical place, and it shows you what a village would look like. Not as far back as some of the stuff goes, but it's pretty neat. And Tahiti has beer, so I give it a thumbs up. So this is awesome. You have like a full-size house. Well, not house, but this would be I'm not even sure what this is. A meeting house. I'm not going to go in because you have to take your shoes off as a sign of respect for the local customs. I'm just going to peer through the window. But very, very neat in here. So this is a section of the world I never even knew existed. I know where New England is, but I never even heard of New Ireland, which is, I guess, near New Zealand and Papua New Guinea. And I turned it on in here because I love this. You know, I've been talking about the totem poles a lot on this video, but check this one out. Super detailed. It kind of looks like the characters are in cages. And just some really cool stuff in here. And the masks. Never heard of New Ireland, but it's pretty neat. Something not open yet, but coming soon, is a Jurassic World expedition coming in May 26, 2017. And that I've heard from people that went to the one in Philly that it's amazing. So we'll be coming to the museum this summer. Check that out. That's supposed to be awesome. Down here in a sea mammal area, and I think me and Molly are both on the same page, these are not our favorite exhibits when you come to the history museums and things like that. I'm completely cool with them showing like fossils or dinosaurs or mammals or animals that no longer exist. But I really don't want to see like otters and things like that. We were at the aquarium today. We saw like real live otters, and they were awesome. And I don't need to see stuffed otters. Like I like to see dead things that no longer exist. That works. Dead things that are still living is kind of sad. That's just my opinion. Some people like it. Up next is another ticketed thing, so you need to have the all experience pass. And that's the Hall of China. When you enter the China exhibit, it's got this great, really kind of circle vision type feel. Familiar with the films in like Disney's Epcot Center. So the China exhibit wasn't the most interesting. If you're a fan of like the knickknacks and different things, it might be cool, but not for me. It does end in this neat, peaceful garden area. Up next, we're going to check out a special exhibit about tattoos, which is a temporary exhibit. I'm not going to turn the camera on in there because it said it includes nudity, and that's not YouTube friendly. So now in the Africa exhibit, where they have this cool mock-up of the House of Colony. Definitely neat. Oh man, and check this out. Very neat. That'll do it for our time here at the Field Museum. A nice museum. Couple of my favorite parts, definitely they have 3 exhibits that really stand out. I love the Ancient Americans exhibit is wonderful. The Egypt exhibit is awesome, and the Evolving Planet Dinosaur exhibit is really, really cool. So that's the good. The bad, I'm really not a fan of like these stuffed dead animal exhibits, and they have a lot of those. Also, I love their giant main hall here. Just from like an architecture standpoint, it's really cool. Again, if you want to see everything and do it quickly, you probably need 3 hours at least. If you want to read everything, you could be here for 5 days. And that'll do it. Molly, what were your thoughts?
I like the ancient Egypt. It was amazing. I love their entrance, how you had to go to the pyramid.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Too much stuffed
But
birds and animals.
and that it feels very old.
Yes. Besides that, there have been lovely exhibits.
Mm-hmm.
And I recommend coming here if you have a few hours.
Mm-hmm. Especially if you're into like ancient people's history and the dinosaurs. The dinosaur stuff is really cool. Guys, that'll do it from the Field Museum. If you've got any questions, reply in the comment section below, and thanks for watching. Pterodactyl.